How's the sound, Jay Wolfie? Sound good? Let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Man, I need a shave. I'm getting bushy. I want to freak my wife out. I do this right here. Just kind of push that up just like that. Go all hillbilly. Yeah, it's definitely time for a shave. Give some folks a little bit to get here. Hoping Mark McKeever shows up today. Got some cool little goodies. Yeah, she gets a kick out of it. Not really. She wants it all gone. She wants it like that. Hey, it's Darth Chaka in the house. We got Connor Stork. What's up, Patrick? I was expecting a hello there from Connor. Connor's usually dropping the Obi-Wan bombs. So Darth Billiam, I think I'm going to land on Darth Chaka. I don't know. What do you think about that? Chaka for sure. Darth Chaka. Random Andy in the house. How's it going, Andy? My newest Sith Lord over on Patreon. Yeah, definitely Darth Chaka. Andy, in case you missed it, we finally came up with Will's Inman comic books. We finally came up with his Darth name. It's Darth Chaka. My apprentice got to have a name. And Mark McKeever in the house. There he is, my man. So Mark made it. I don't know if anybody can notice, but there's a special little thing next to Mark's name. Mark, can you see that? I don't know if anybody else can see that. He's got the Chaka monkeys on there. Connor was born in the Chaka, molded by it. Darth Chaka. There you go. Well, I'm not going to keep this too long, guys. I'm glad Mark's here. I would have shot him a video, but I literally just sent Mark, one of my Sith Lords on Patreon, sent him a video. I didn't want to make another video. Those things can get a bit emotional for me. I generally can keep the emotions down just a bit whenever I have a group here, my friends and family. So promised mail time, a little bit of unboxing, health update. We'll get into that. Jay Wolfie, I'm hanging in there, man. Life is good days and bad days. Today's sometimes hurting a lot, but it's pain is part of life. And shoot, I've been hurting since the military. So like I'm 40 years old now. I think 20 years of my life has been nothing but something hurting. So I got a couple things that a couple of my Patreons sent me that totally blew my mind because I didn't share my address with anybody. Matter of fact, Mark McKeever, who sent me something, the address you got is my work address. I spend 70 hours a week there, so that's why I use that one. That's right, Jason Mapp. Pain is weakness leaving the body. I must have a lot of weakness that needs to leave. But yes, Mark McKeever, we will get into that in a second. That's the big reveal. Other than Mark McKeever now being one of my two mods. So if y'all notice that, props to Mark McKeever. Something that William Inman Comic Books, Darth Chaka, and I talked about a long time ago when I was looking at mods. It just, like-minded people that know what I think, know what I feel, kind of like in here. Is that fan? That fan is bugging me, like visually just spinning above my head. Whatever. I'm picky. Yes. Yeah. Use the address. I figured you did because when it showed up, somebody said, "Hey, you got a package from a Mark McKeever?" I'm like, what the heck? And then I realized I use my work address because that's where I send everything out of. So I'm not going to hesitate too long. I think I got enough people here. Let's start getting into some of the unboxings. So one of the first things, I think Jay Wolfie's going to notice this one. Boom. See that right there? Jay Wolfie, recognize that? All the different lightsabers. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a whole book of just like all the lightsabers and their histories. I figured you had that, Jay Wolfie. I remember you talking about that. Well, technically this isn't a Patreon mail-in. This came from John. John got this for me. And I finally decided it couldn't just sit on my shelf and collect dust. I had to go through and read it. Man, it's a beautiful book. Very well done. Absolutely love it. John Bell, thank you for that. Absolutely, thank you for that. It's like something I should have bought him. And he got kind of lucky, because if you buy me something Star Wars, I'm probably going to have it. I didn't have that. Awesome, awesome book. What, Andy leaving? Is Andy out? I want to stay number one. Andy, I want to stay. Oh, Andy. Hey, man, it's all good. Andy, man. Yeah. Company, dude, company, people. I'm alone. I don't have people here. Y'all are my people. Andy, go be with people. Yeah, it's cool. Andy, do it. So, that was one thing I want to go over. One of my patrons, my new patrons, a gentleman named Eddie, got me that bad boy. It's kind of like 3D. That's going to end up going in the office at work. I'm running out of room, though. I've got to start getting some of my Firestone stuff down off the wall if I'm going to put that up there. But that is a bad little boy right there. Can't go wrong with Darth Vader. So before I get into the big reveal of Mark McKeever's care, I'm going to call it a care package. That's what it was. Mark, shoot me a quick message too, whether or not it's okay to read the card, because that is a private card, personal card. If it's okay for me to read it, let me know. If you'd rather me keep it private, that's cool too. Whatever's cool with you, brother. So, point being is, y'all have known I've been going through some health issues, and staring down the barrel of the cancer word, let's call it that. And that'll catch you off guard, give you a little bit of background there. So y'all know I had COVID back in January and had some complications while I had that. Hey, man, Stephen Baker made it. Stephen Baker, love you, man. Stephen Baker's always got a lot of love for everybody. Everybody say hi to Stephen. So back to the COVID thing. So I had COVID, and I look at that really as a blessing in disguise, because I had some complications unbeknownst to me. You're not supposed to take ibuprofen when you have COVID. It makes it worse. So I was having some breathing issues, and then I was having some pain issues. So I had to go into the emergency room. And when I did, that's when they dropped the whole, we can't rule out cancer thing. I mean, how do you deal with that bombshell? So thank goodness I've got some good friends, a good support community. I sat on it for a couple of weeks. I didn't really know how to process it. It was very overwhelming. And I mean, again, it's processing that kind of information. So made a huge mistake. Played it off as if it was something small. Barely mentioned it to my wife because I was trying to protect her from that information. And John, who y'all see in my videos, my friend John watches, was like, man, are you sure that's the wisest decision to, maybe keep that from your wife? And I'm like, well, man, I'm just trying to keep everybody calm until I can be calm. And of course, followed my friend's advice, shared it with my wife, shared it with my dad, shared it with a couple of y'all. Andy watching this in playback. Andy's actually got my cell phone number. He texted me. We talked on the phone, and I didn't know what to expect, didn't know where to go. Well, update on the health. I did finally get into an appointment. Yeah, Andy, I just finished shouting you out for a second about how you were talking to me on the phone and texting during the whole freaking out about the cancer thing. So I go to the doctor this past week, and he says, actually, in case y'all are wondering which type it was, they're talking about possible testicular cancer. So sensitive topic to talk about, very embarrassing topic to talk about. But long story short, back when I was in the Air Force, I used to fight full contact. And as I was young and dumb, like most men are in the military, we weren't wearing cups and protection like we should. And boy, did I take some shots to the groin, like talking about some America's Funniest Home Videos shots to the groin, enough to put you in a hospital. And got some damage. So end of the day, what the doctor told me last week is that he is hopeful and pretty encouraged that he doesn't think it's going to be cancer. So, yeah, thanks for that, Stephen. It is an embarrassing topic, very much so. Matt Lane basically said, get over it. He's like, no, like, get over the embarrassment. Like, dude, yeah, it's serious, but, you can beat this. It's going to be fine. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Now, I mean, he's right. It's, we're adults. We can talk about it. But the doctor basically said, hey, man, I don't think it's going to end up being cancer. The problem is there's something there that ought not be there. So the 18th of this month, I go see a urologist, and urologist is basically going to tell me where to go, next steps. And what the last doctor intimated to me was there's a very good chance that even if it's not cancer, they're still going to take that bad boy. And like I said, I got good friends that know how to make fun of me at the right time. I don't know if y'all saw it in episode 6 and 7 of Mando season 2, when Mando's ship explodes. There's that little silver ball that baby Steve likes to play with. And Jason and John totally made a joke at my expense. I left it in there. I thought it was funny. It was hilarious. Got to be able to make fun of yourself. Life's too serious. Don't take ourselves too seriously. But what the cool thing is about it is, let's say it is cancer. It's easily beatable. It's not like I have pancreatic cancer. That's pretty much a death sentence. Stephen, yeah, I've already had an ultrasound. That's where they found something's definitely there. But best case scenario, it's not. Either way, there's something there that shouldn't be there. It's causing pain. It's getting to the point where, something's got to be done. So doctor said, he can't tell me exactly what the urologist is going to do, but end of the day, I may or may not have the cancer, but I'm probably in the back of my head thinking, something's about to go. But hey, wife and I are done having kids, so plus there. But yeah, Stephen, glad I am doing something about it. Frankly, I should have done something about it years ago when I realized there was a problem downstairs. But, being a stubborn dude, didn't want to admit I needed a specialist. How do you go talk to a doctor about that? Next thing you know, you're in an emergency room with 3 strange women holding you down doing an ultrasound, and you're in so much pain, you're screaming out, you don't care. So I give you all of that, guys, as an update because I found it's very therapeutic. It makes the problem seem smaller by sharing and talking about it more. Whereas my first inclination was to hide it, not talk about it, keep it from friends and family because I didn't want people freaking out. I found the more I have discussions, the easier it is to talk about and deal with. I'm going to beat this thing. I'm confident of that. Some days I'm shooken up. Some days there's some more pain than others. Some days there's no pain. But y'all have been a really good support community, which brings me to Mark McKeever. So Mark is, as y'all know, one of my 2 Sith Lords on Patreon who has supported me. And I got to shout Mark out because Mark was my first patron on Patreon. Back when I first started this thing with John, it was something for fun. I figured, hey, I can finally get John to watch Star Wars if I tell him we're going to videotape it, kind of like Holton Hardman. I didn't think it would take off like it did. But after the first couple of videos, I realized I want to do this full time. Like, I want to get into it, up my production game, get serious with it. And launched a Patreon page thinking no one's going to support me that way. But if I'm going to take myself seriously as a content creator, I got to see if other people will. Kudos to Mark because Mark has encouraged me, challenged me. He's been there from day one. And out of the blue at work on Friday, I get this. I get this in the mail from Mark. Hide his address. Sorry. I get that in the mail from Mark. And I'm like, what the heck? Didn't ask for nothing, wasn't expecting nothing. If anything, I owe Mark everything. I mean, he's the one supporting me. Why is he sending me a goodie bag? So then I open up the box. And of course, I did this very quickly because I'm at work. And guys, if you see me at work, I'm like the Flash. Everybody calls me Bald Flash at work because I never stop. Well, here we go. This was the box I found in that box. Well, Mark, here's the funny thing. I stopped. I didn't open that box up. I thought, hey, Mark is being very considerate of the fact that I'm in pain and might need some pain relief. And that's very considerate of him. An odd gift, but a gift nonetheless. So I put it back in the office. Didn't think nothing about it. Forgot all about it actually when I went home late Friday night. That's hilarious. And then I pick it up and kind of shook it around. I was like, hang on, that's really heavy for a heating pad. Like very heavy. So I decided I had to open this thing. And of course, Mark had it like taped together like Fort Knox. I couldn't get into it. And had to get a pocket knife to that thing. Yeah, that thing is destroyed getting into it. And this is what I want to show y'all. I'm going to start with the card because the card is what means the most to me. The gifts aside, the card meant more to me than anything else. Here we go. Mark says he just bought the heating pad for his old ass. Oh, man, you're awesome, Mark. So I get this card from Mark that says, with sympathy. You got to understand, work is tough. We're always short-staffed. I'm constantly going. Mentally, I'm trying to deal with my own issues while managing a company and taking care of my employees. It gets difficult. I have difficult days where, man, I wish I could have a timeout, and you don't get a timeout. I never even opened the card. Just seeing that phrase with sympathy meant all the world to me. Like, holy crap, this guy Mark was thinking about me. You know, means a lot. So it says, thinking of you at this difficult time, wishing you comfort and peace. And Mark says, for those of you who may not have seen, Mark gave me permission to read this. He says, to be honest, I've been spring cleaning my house, downsizing on my collections. Basically, he gave me some stuff I'm going to show you. But he says, all my hopes that you get through this scare with minimal effects to your mind, body, and soul. That, there could have been nothing else in that box. And that right there, you want to talk about a pick-me-up. The best analogy I could give is when I was in the military, there would be times where you're crawling through the mud. Hey, Ace Edits, good to see you, man. Hey, Ace, by the way, that was a pretty cool concept on the whole Spider-Man No Way Home thing. I like that. It was pretty good. Y'all go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. But back to this card that Mark sent me. The analogy I have is when I was in the military and you're doing training, you're crawling through the mud under barbed wire. And, there comes a point, several points, where physically you give out. The point of military training is not to make you just Superman. It's to make you fail. It's to realize you're going to fail. And you're fighting for the guy next to you. You're training for the guy next to you. Your brothers in arms. And there comes a point where you're both exhausted and the guy next to you can't crawl anymore. And you reach back and you grab his collar in the mud and you pull him forward a foot. And then he reaches back and grabs your collar and drags you through the mud. And you're pulling each other along through this sloggy, muddy, just nastiness. And just the fact that somebody's willing to even pull you an inch. It's one of the, I think everybody should experience that. I'm not saying everybody should be forced in the military, but there's a part of yourself and a part of others that you'll never know outside of the military until you're put in those situations. Well, this to me, Mark McKeever, was much like one of those moments. A brother reaching back to grab my collar and saying, let me drag you this next foot through the mud. I'm not going to leave you behind. And man, I sat in my office, Mark, and I wept. I had to take a time out. I was like, man, I didn't even look at the stuff yet. Inside the card, guys, was this very cool thing. I'm never getting rid of that. The faces of emotions of Darth Vader. Some magnets there, surprised, happy, confused, different faces. And that made me laugh. So I got the emotional impact of the card. I got the laughter of the Darth Vader magnets. And then I get to look at the goodies that Mark sent. And it's got an unopened T-shirt. Now in the card, Mark says he couldn't fit it, so I get to inherit it. But Hey, you know what? Guess what? This thing, Star Wars toys are not meant to be opened and played with, but I don't care, Mark. Look, that's happening right there. Now, I don't know how old this thing is and how long it's been around. Gotta knock the dust off this thing, but check that out, guys. We're gonna get that open right there. Yeah. There we go. That needs some ironing. That's going in the washing machine. Right there. But that will get worn in one of my next videos for sure. One thing I'm not short on is Star Wars shirts. And then, guys, you want to talk about something amazing. Y'all know who's my favorite Star Wars character. And if anybody types Jar Jar down in those comments, I swear, I swear, friendship over. Not really, but y'all know. Darth Vader, right? Well, look at this. Look at that. Darth Vader. Boss Nass. I see you, Ace Edits. Darth Chaka. Okay, Darth Chaka gets away with it. That's a dark side. Darth Vader. Look at that. And Mark McKeever, let me know. I could be wrong, but is this not part of the whole Vader Down series? Somebody let me know in the comments below. Because like Tales of Vader Volume 1, Star Wars Tales Volume 2, got some Boba Fett right there, Got Han Solo right there. Golly. But Darth Vader, guys, right there. Right there. So y'all let me know. I think that's part of the whole Vader Down series. It says Shadows and Secrets. I could be wrong. All I know is it's got Darth Vader, and it's amazing. Connor, yeah, I've never read them. I don't have much time to read nowadays. So my huge coffee mug there. I try to keep that side out. Can't miss. That side always misses. So that's pretty much what this live was about. It's a way of saying thank you. Thank you to all of you. Mark went above and beyond. I'm not asking y'all to do that. Please don't. This live is not me saying, hey, y'all send me stuff and I'll feel better. No. This is me saying that I really appreciate all of you that have been there for me, especially in the Discord through all of this. It's made it a whole lot easier. It takes a village. Team effort. I mean, I could give you analogy after analogy, but I'm loyal to a fault. Once you've got my loyalty, I'm going nowhere. I'm there. So, I'll go down with the ship. That's just how it is. I had a manager once that before he retired that, I let him know whatever goes down with this company, if they come in and do something wrong, I'm out with you. Doesn't matter what it means for my career. That's just how I am. And that's how I am with you guys. I mean, I will defend and fight tooth and nail to defend you guys. You're my family. You're my brothers. You're my friends, sisters. If Di's in here, or Geisha. But you don't know what it means to this old guy to know that I can pop onto a Discord and say, guys, I'm struggling with something. And you just really don't know. Part of the whole Q&A thing, I threw the Q&A in the title because if y'all have questions, I'm willing to answer them. I'm pretty much an open book. Every saint's got a past, every sinner's got a future. I'm a huge believer in that. I believe in 90, 95, 100,000 second chances. Nobody's perfect. I've never met a perfect human being. I live by two words, grace and mercy. I'm very exacting. I'm very much a perfectionist. I'm not the coolest boss in the world. I want it a certain way in a certain box. But I do try to live by the principles of grace and mercy. Grace being getting things that you don't deserve. Mercy being not getting what you do deserve. Trust me. Don't ever ask somebody to give you what you deserve. Not a perfect person out there. But what I have found is this eternal optimistic hopefulness in community. And the community being y'all. I've made no secret about it. I avoided social media for most of my life. Wanted nothing to do with it. MySpace was a big thing, and then Facebook, which I've still never done. Tried Instagram for 28 days. That was horrible. I'll never do that again. YouTube was my first foray into social media, and I was fortunate enough to find a supportive community that was not toxic. I was very nervous dipping a toe into that water. So to say that social media was met with much skepticism on my behalf is kind of an understatement, but y'all have proved the exception to the rule, or really proved the rule that I believed, is that there is hope and grace and mercy in community. All kinds of different people, all kinds of different backgrounds, all kinds of different countries, different faiths. I have found amazing support and goodness in people through social media. Who would have thought that? And I'm loath to let that go. I'm glad I'm a part of it. And it's really cool because when I do these videos with John and Jason and we're sitting on the couch, it's like y'all are sitting there with me. So I kind of get into that sentimental thing because I want there to be a lesson out of this. There's no secret, Darth Vader is my favorite character. I mean, got a tattoo on my arm. I mean, hey, Darth Vader. But y'all have heard me say, especially in that reaction to Mando season 2, episode 8, the finale with Luke, that Luke was my favorite character as a child. Horrible things happened as a child. Horrible things I won't get into. We could all share each other's stories and probably all be crying and singing Kumbaya. So I'm not the only one that had horrible stuff. But my escape was Star Wars, the fantasy of Star Wars. And I would throw pennies into wells, into fountains, wishing that I could become Luke Skywalker and go off and be a Jedi Knight. And so how is it that I go from a child who spends most of his life idolizing Luke Skywalker to now the character, my favorite character being Darth Vader, admittedly a villain, dark side. Well, one, the dark side has more fun. But all jokes aside, it's because it's the character I identify with the most, Anakin. To quote movies are storytelling devices. They speak messages. They convey messages. We can learn from them. And to quote the whole Spider-Man thing from Raimi, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, when I got into the military, some things happened there. Y'all know, those that know me, severe PTSD. And what I've done throughout most of my life from childhood on up is clung to anger. I've clung to hatred, destructive feeling, because it's what helps me overcome the bad people, the ones who abused me, or the enemy in the military. Anything bad in my life, I was very much, had a large heart, loved people, loved life, and felt crushed by life circumstances and felt very disempowered. And the only way I was able to feel empowered was to fill myself with, hey, Tina Lynn's here. Oh my goodness. Tina Lynn, y'all, if I'm not mistaken, Tina Lynn is Crazy Cat Lady or Star Wars Cat Lady. Sorry, not Crazy Cat Lady. Former military. Tina, thank you for your service. But back onto the story there, what basically happened was I used anger, I used rage to overcome the obstacle. Now, anger in and of itself, indignation, rage, they are emotions that are human. We should have them. And they're tools. But imagine, if you will, I need to hammer a nail, and I pick up a tool, which is a hammer, and I nail it in. And then I turn around and I have to screw a screw into a piece of wood, and I try to use a hammer to do that. It doesn't work. The bigger analogy that I've used with people is my anger and my rage was a boat. I came to these horrible rivers in my life that I couldn't cross without a boat. So I used this boat to get across this river. And because that tool, that anger, was successful, I now got to the other side of the river, and it's like I'm walking through the desert now, dragging this boat behind me, because it's the only tool I ever knew how to use. It worked, so it must work again. But I look like a fool walking through the desert, dragging a boat behind me, sometimes even sitting in it in the middle of the desert, just seething and full of anger and rage over life circumstances. So why is it that Darth Vader is the character I identify with? Well, there you have it, folks. Good kid, big heart, want to help people. But he let his fear and his anger and his rage literally imprison him and debilitate him. And you look at Darth Vader, and what he is he's trapped in his own prison because of his anger and his rage. He's debilitated and crippled because of his anger and rage. It's not that I look up to and idolize Darth Vader. It's I look at him and I see me and all the mistakes I made and how my anger and rage has imprisoned me when I should be free, living life, enjoying relationships like with y'all. Doesn't mean I'll ever be without it. I can't turn it off. But that was my first inclination when the doctors said, hey, time to start looking at cancer. You know, as I'm sitting here, you know, part of the whole coping with this health thing is I want to rage at it. I want to be angry at it, but being angry at it's not going to fix it. You know, Steven said it earlier. He's glad I'm going to get help. Yeah, I need help. I need to talk to the expert. I can be mad all I want at my own body, but it's not going to fix it. So the good news, though, is we know from watching Star Wars that Darth Vader gets to take the mask off. There is redemption. There is hope. And like I said in that video, that's something that George Lucas has been adamant about is hope. Something Dave Filoni understands. Hope. That's what these stories are about, is hope. So back to that whole thing as a kid, throwing pennies in the well, wanting to be Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's why I had that emotional response in that video, was because it brought me back to that. I'm not going to say innocence, because it wasn't. It was scary and dark as a child going through those things, but it brought me back to that whole wanting the light and not the dark of the hero, of being able to escape, because, you know, you could escape into fantasy worlds as a child to escape the ugliness, but George Lucas gave us an entire universe, not just a world, not just a place, a universe. So there you have it, folks. That's kind of why I did this. So long, very long way. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Very long way of saying thank you. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to Andy. Thank you to Will, Darth Chaka. Thank you to Star Wars Cat Lady. She's got some really cool content. Y'all check her out. She's like really cool content. I've got to get into that game. We got Steven, Matt, Holden, Maleeton, Jay Wolfie. I know I'm gonna leave people out. I can't even. Atlas Guitar, Die Over the Life to Die For. We've got Connor Stork. We've got golly, so many people, and I'm getting emotional. So it's like I start blanking when I get emotional. The point is I've got all y'all to just simply say thank you to. So Mark McKeever, end of the day, I know in your card you said, hey, you were just downsizing and hopefully wanting to pass on some cool Star Wars stuff to a guy that would appreciate it. I appreciate it. But know that card that you put in that box means more to me than the stuff combined. I mean, the stuff could burn down tomorrow in the house, and I would probably miss the card more than anything else. And you're welcome, Will. I'm glad you're part of my life. I've met some really cool brothers and sisters through this whole social experiment. Sorry for the super emotional live stream. Mark McKeever. I like seeing that little blue wrench next to his name. So here's what's up. You guys know we're getting ready to finish Star Wars. We've already filmed John's reaction to Force Awakens. Now we have, I hate it so much. I can't even remember the name of it. Last Jedi. And we have Rise of Skywalker. Maleeton, my baby Blue. You my boy Blue. Maleeton, I'll never forget when Matt Lane called you Malatone. I can't get that out of my head. I can't. Yeah, you'll always be Malatone in my head. But we're going to move on into after Star Wars Harry Potter. I did send a poll out to my patrons on Patreon about whether or not they wanted us to film the Clone Wars or the Clone Wars series and the Rebel series. And by a thin margin, but still a margin. The votes came in, and the patrons would like us to move on after the sequel trilogy into Harry Potter. It does not mean that we are not going to still watch Clone Wars and Rebels. But I think it's going to do us good to take a break after Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I mean, because John, you got to give him credit. This guy's been hating on Star Wars his whole life. And after friendship for 26 years, finally convinced him to watch it. I'm just thankful we've gotten this far and he's become a fan. So we've got 2 more movies to film after I get done editing The Force Awakens. And then we're going to be jumping into Harry Potter. And he's never seen those. And I think his wife's going to join us for those because she hasn't watched them either and she wants to. We've been talking about doing his reaction to Venom, which he hasn't seen and his wife wants to watch, which would be cool because then when Morbius finally comes out, we could do that as well. But we've still, I promised way back when this started, because you know me, I don't do scary movies. We still have got to do the scary movie. And we're going to be doing The Shining, and we're going to be doing Venom, Spawn, Daredevil. So John has seen Spawn. He's seen Daredevil. He's seen all that. He's seen most of the MCU. He has not seen Into the Spider-Verse, and he has not seen Venom. June of this year? Great. Yeah, it's been delayed. So he said we can do the whole My Friend John watches with Into the Spider-Verse and Venom. I think Spider-Verse would be great. He's skeptical because it's a cartoon. I was skeptical. I watched it because it happened to be free. And when I watched it, I was like, I'm going out to buy the Blu-ray. This is awesome. The Shining is going to get filmed. That'll be one of my scary movies that I watch. And then we're going to probably follow that up with Dr. Sleep. I don't do scary movies, but we'll give it a shot. It'll give you awesome laughs. Yeah, Will, I think we were all skeptical. They pulled it off, though. They really did. TASM 2. Okay, Malik, and I knew you were going to bring that up. John Bell, are you kidding me? Can't wait. John Bell's in that chat. The whole My Friend John watches. There goes John right there. So Tina Lynn says Dr. Sleep is good. Now, Tina, without spoiling the movie, because I want to watch it because it's got Ewan McGregor in it. I love Ewan McGregor as an actor. But is Dr. Sleep an official sequel to The Shining or no? Somebody let me know that in the comments down below. Never heard of Dr. Sleep. Yeah, actually, Mark McKeever, when John and Jason and I went to go watch John Wick 3, they were playing previews for Dr. Sleep, and I remember seeing that, and they're like, we got to go see that in theater. And I was like, hell no. So it is a sequel. Steven says it is a sequel. Yes, it is, according to Darth Chaka. So good. Because I know all of Stephen King's books and stories tying together, talking about the shine and the magic behind people that gets talked about in Dark Tower with Jake and the gunslinger. I was a huge fan of the books. Movie, I like the movie, but I don't think they'll ever go any further. But I guess I have to watch The Shining in order to see Dr. Sleep. I don't like scary crap, but from my understanding is it's not that scary. It's more of a thriller, so we'll see how I take to it. I mean, heck, Scream scared me. So any questions from y'all before we start wrapping this thing up? I've rambled on long enough. Yeah, Darth Chaka. Oh, John, I don't know how late you came in, but they do want us to have you do My Friend Watches Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the cartoon. Oh, wow. Mark McKeever says Shining was the first horror he remembers seeing as a kid. Dude, yeah. Scream 1, scary as heck. Yeah, it was Jason Mapp. Thank you so much. See, and then Jason Mapp drugged me off to go see Scream 2 with another one of our friends, Jason. And I didn't want to get in the back seat of the car on the way out of the theater because I was scared to death somebody was going to pop up with a scream mask and get me. I don't do good with scary movies. Poltergeist. Tina says Poltergeist was her kid horror flick. Never seen Poltergeist. I've seen less than 10 actual scary films in my lifetime. Scariest movie I ever saw was Event Horizon. 13th Ghost, I actually enjoyed, but scared the crap out of me. Scream 1, Scream 2. Haven't seen anything after Scream 2. I know there's like 6 Scream movies, I think. Coraline? What is? I haven't heard of Coraline. I haven't heard of that. Jay Wolfie says The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the scariest movie he's ever seen. Hey, Jay Wolfie, I'm with you. If that's the scariest movie I ever have to watch, you and me could be, yeah, we're on the same page. Stephen Baker's watched scary movies all his life. Props to you, man. I can't do it. They get me wound up. So I'm trying to think of what else scary I've seen. Final Destination. I have seen that. That one didn't really scare me. I thought that was stupid. Yes, Jason Mapp. I remember you telling me that they're making another Scream movie. While I'm thinking about it, guys, in that John and Jason Mapp is in this chat. Sinister. Hey, that's John's word. MN Comic Books had a question and I missed it. Was there a certain scary movie that ruined it for you or always just been not into them? I don't like, okay. I've always kind of just been not into them. I don't like the way they make me feel. I don't like having that feeling of disempowerment and being scared to death. That ties into some of the experiences I had as a child. There's not a specific scary movie that ruined it for me. I can point to scary scenes as a child that freaked me out, but Lost Boys was supposed to be a scary movie. That didn't freak me out. I remember I snuck out of my room and crawled behind the couch. My parents had rented the VHS tape and a VCR player to watch that. And I remember watching that and it didn't freak me out. So no, MN Comic, that's a great question. I think I've always just been kind of that way. I don't enjoy, being scared out of my wits like that. Now, that being said, the real life stuff doesn't bug me. I've had people dress up in Scream outfits and come and try to scare the crap out of me. It does not end well for them at all. The movie, though, you can't do anything. It's like, why are they running upstairs into a corner where the guy with the knife's chasing them? It's like, turn around, stand your ground, and kick his butt, break his knee, and stab him. I mean, the movies, they're not doing what I think they should do, and it's freaking me out. So I'm going to go back to some of these questions. Never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street. I've never seen a Freddy movie. I've never seen a Jason movie. Never seen a Michael Myers movie. Have I seen the Starboys fan movie? Fanboys. Yes, Ace Edits. I have seen Fanboys. Absolutely love it. I think it's awesome. I would love for John to watch it. That's going to be one of those other ones that gets tabled until after we get past Harry Potter. So let's see. Yeah, Tina Lynn, PTSD plus horror movies equals anxiety. I don't even watch military movies anymore, Tina. I put a stop to that a long time ago. Lost Boys cracked me up. Yeah. So let's see. Jay Wolfie, what a silly question. Oh, somebody just backed it up. Did I miss any other questions? Missed a question. Sorry, Maleton. It's Tim Burton. Whoa. Missed my question. Nightmare on Elm Street. Have you seen? Yes, I've seen Fanboys. Jay Wolfie agreed. Oh, we're talking about favorite movies. So here's a big shocker. My favorite movie is not a Star Wars film. Not at all. My favorite movie is The Crow with Brandon Lee. Go watch. Don't mess with cats. Mark McKeever, The Flying Monkeys and Wizard of Oz gave me nightmares as a toddler. So Wizard of Oz didn't mess with me. It messed with my sister. The Green Witch melting, that messed with her hard. Now, who here remembers seeing an old movie called Legend with Tom Cruise and the big, huge red-looking devil dude, the Minotaur with the horns? Anybody remember that one? If you do, type in the comments. I'm watching the comments. Darth Chaka asks, what's my favorite genre of movie? I'm going to have to say sci-fi fantasy. Absolutely love it. Although I think superhero films is kind of getting its own genre now. So I guess maybe that, but sci-fi fantasy in general was where I land. Tina Lynn. Oh, so TV series didn't land well on me. It was decent. I actually used to teach martial arts and train full time. And Mark Dacascos, the actor that played him, I was so jealous of Mark. When I say I know him, I've met him. Doesn't mean like I know him, like hang out. But he used to train at some of the same schools I did in California. And I was so jealous of that dude when he got the crow part. Like it wasn't fair. Like not at all. Yeah, Crow was one of the best movies of all time for me. Yes, Will, we did finish the extended version of Lord of the Rings with a wife. So of the three, I think the extended version I liked the most was Fellowship of the Ring. It made sense. We got the backstory, all the gifts and the gift giving. But as it went on, I was less and less a fan of the extended, like all the scenes they put in there. I'm glad they cut them out in the theatrical version. I mean, I appreciated them for what they were, but it was like, I was just ready for it to end. Snyder Cut, yes, Mark McKeever. So Jason Mapp, I'm not going to get HBO Max, but Jason Mapp has it, and we are going to go over to his house the night of I think the 31st, and we're going to film the reaction to Snyder Cut over there. I don't know whose channel it's going to land on. I think it's probably going to land on John's channel. I don't know. It's really not kind of my shtick, but it might even. We'll see. It might land on both. I don't know. We haven't worked out the details other than the fact that we're going to be at Jason's house, so it's going to be a change of venue. So, in comic books. Oh, wow, Connor. So we did ask that in one of the videos, I think, who would win, John Wick or Boba Fett? And I think John Bell, Jason Mapp, if you're still in the chat, you put your answers down here. I'm going to say John Wick all day long. John Wick. Snyder Cut. Looking forward to that. The Hobbit series is one movie too long. Well, the Hobbit series is one movie too extra that never happened in the book. I mean, it never happened that way. But, whatever. Creative license. It's like Peter Jackson took 3 huge novels and made 3 huge movies out of them. And then he goes on to The Hobbit and takes one itty bitty novel and makes 3 huge movies out of it. Made no sense to me. It's everybody saying John Wick. Exactly. Tina Lynn, if you're still in here, I'm curious what your favorite movie is. Stephen Baker's seen Legend. And the reason I brought up Legend is there is a scene in Legend, John Wick with the jetpack would dominate. Yeah. Yes, Tina Lynn. Legolas was not in the books, but he made the movie so much better. And what else made the movie so much better is that you didn't have friggin' Tom Bombadil. Jason Mapp, you're unfriended. You're not allowed to say Boba can beat John Wick. You're not allowed to have your own opinion. You have to think what everybody else thinks. Pretty far in production until he quit. Yeah, that's what I heard, Will. I did hear that. But anyway, back to the whole Legend thing. In that movie, there's a scene where the princess, the damsel in distress, the female character is captured by this red minotaur devil dude, and she sees this person in black dancing in the ballroom, and there's no face on the person. It's covered up, and the music and the face keeps looping around to the camera. That freaked me out as a kid. The red devil dude didn't freak me out, but that black dancer freaked me out. Black clothes, covered up face, freaked me out. Tina Lynn loves all the MCU, second to Star Wars. Total nerd. Hey, stay nerdy with it. Don't be ashamed of it. Nerds rule the universe. I think that John Wick would definitely steal the jetpack and kick butt. Dadgum right, Stephen Baker. John Wick would steal the jetpack. So Tina Lynn, curious, second only to Star Wars. If you had one, you only get to pick one. All the other Star Wars movies you'll never get to watch again, but you have to pick one that you could watch over and over and over again for the rest of your life. That's the only one you'll get to watch again. Which one would it be? Mine's Return of the Jedi. It's a very easy pick for me. Star Trek. Right there, Mark McKeever. And Mark, I'm curious who your favorite character is. Mine is obviously Spock. Tina Lynn's with me, Return of the Jedi. Thank you. So many Star Wars fans like totally hate on me because I don't say Empire Strikes Back. Like, you're not allowed to. For those of you who don't know, Star Wars fans can be very toxic, and if you disagree with them, then you get canceled. Star Treks are awesome, absolutely awesome. With a name like Patrick Stewart, you don't have to like Star Trek. Spock is freaking awesome. That's right. Will Darth Chaka cannot do the Star Trek sign with his hands? Yeah, Luke in all of his glory, Return of the Jedi. Golly, that scene at the end. So if y'all haven't seen, me and John's like that. The videos on our top 10 favorite movie moments, like Return of the Jedi scene, it's up there for me. It's in the top 5. Ben Cisco, Deep Space Nine was my favorite series. I never watched that series. I didn't watch anything after The Next Generation. Just spoiler alert. By that time, I was in the military. I didn't have time for anything else. So Jay Wolfie, that's tough. Yeah, I was just talking about Star Wars, Jay Wolfie. Like, if you had to pick one Star Wars film, like, you couldn't watch any more. You just had to watch one of them. Tina Lynn says anything by Sam Raimi. Okay. Evil Dead. Spock is amazing. I thought J.J. Abrams did a really good job with the Star Trek reboot. And by the way, actually, that's something else we're going to have John watch. He's never seen any of the original Star Trek films. How about that? Mark McKeever, solid choice. See, Empire. Mark McKeever didn't make fun of me for not picking Empire, but Empire is a solid choice. It's a good movie. Connor thinks episode 4 is the most rewatchable. Cool. See, a whole lot of different opinions here. They said it says the Lego Holiday Special. Ace. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Stephen Baker seeing old and new Spock together is pretty cool. Yeah, the new Star Wars Holiday Special was really good. That old Star Wars Holiday Special, I was going to make John watch it, and I started recording it so we could do the whole, and I was like, forget it, John, I'm not going to do it. If I'd have made John sit down and watch the holiday special, he'd have quit. Oh yeah, Mark, definitely. We will be doing Star Trek. And that's the thing. I had a long talk with John about the big difference between Star Wars and Star Trek because he'd asked me that one night. And this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong. Because they're both very successful in their own right. I think what makes Star Wars successful, hate me for it, Force Awakens, hey, Jay Wolfie, Force Awakens was a good movie. I can live with that. But what makes Star Trek so great, or Star Wars so great, lightsabers. Let's just say it, lightsabers. Everybody's obsessed with lightsabers. But it was the characters. It was the story of the universe. It was just, the fantastical world. Now, you ask you asked me what makes Star Trek work. He said it says Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, and Rogue One. Now, my favorite, bar none, is Return of the Jedi. But if you ask me what I think the best made Star Wars film is, the best Star Wars film is Rogue One. Yeah, Tina Lynn, definitely a mess. Definitely a mess. Nobody spoil anything for John in here about Last Jedi and Force Awakens. He hasn't watched it yet. But yeah, the characters and lightsabers. But then Star Trek. So what makes Star Trek so successful? And what I told John was the relationships. There is this three amigos relationship with Kirk and Spock and McCoy, Bones, that you could take them out of, the Enterprise, the spaceship, outer space, and it would still work. It's their relationship. And that's what makes it, at least for me, what makes Star Trek so successful. Chaka would destroy. Okay. Jar Jar versus Chaka. Chaka's going to win. So Jay Wolfie says, don't hate me. No, brother, no hate there. No hate there. A solo Jar Jar movie, so all the haters would have to watch it. Will, that is a true Dark Side Apprentice, move on your part. And that's the thing is all the Star Wars haters, even though I don't like what KK did with Last Jedi and Force Awakens, if she released another movie, I'm going to complain about it while I'm standing in line buying a $15 movie ticket to go watch it. That's just the truth of the matter. Yes, Carl Urban as Bones was amazing, and I loved the backstory of how he got his name Bones. That was cool. Jar Jar could digest him with that giant tongue. But yeah, that's pretty much it, folks. So we've been going for about an hour now. The kids are actually taking a rare nap. I do need to get off of this live stream because my wife and I still have not finished WandaVision. and we have been avoiding all spoilers like crazy. And Mark McKeever, yes, I enjoyed Solo. It wasn't the best movie in the world, but I enjoyed it. I think people gave it way too much shade just because Han Solo wasn't played by Harrison Ford, but I enjoyed Solo. Didn't like how they gave him his name, but I enjoyed Solo. Really enjoyed Chewie. That's what that came down to. But anyway, I have got to go watch WandaVision, or I get to go watch WandaVision. But yeah, I hope to make a Solo too. And really quick before we go, does anybody know if the Book of Boba Fett is going to be a TV series or a movie? I don't know. Email me, let me know, drop it in the comments. But I've got to get going. Thank you to all of y'all for tuning into the live stream. Mark McKeever, thank you again. My newest mod. Mark, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you all for sticking around and talking to me, especially about the health stuff. And love all y'all. You're great. Thank you for all your support. And I'll see you over in the Discord for those of y'all that know me. Yes, bye. Take care now. Love y'all.